Hello everybody, this is Craig at SDR Media, and you've reached our YouTube channel, which today's video I wanted to talk about some of the things that are happening in the world today, which is also prophesied to happen just before all things get ready to come to a close. Because as we can see, the world is getting so wicked, it's getting so tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine. All sorts of storms and chaos is going on everywhere. People are being demonically possessed. There are signs in the sun and the moon and all the earthquakes that are happening every single day. And just everything in this world is just being thrown in every direction. All sorts of chemtrails are being sprayed into the air, even these black chemtrails that people are now discovering and talking about, where they're dumping all sorts of toxins and pollutions all over the place, and it is just causing everybody to get so sick. And most people in this world cannot see the unseen war that is taking place around the world to try to kill off first the weak, not to mention all the homeless people that are disappearing in the world. Because as they get ready to depopulate the planet even more, this is where they're starting, with the homeless and polluting the people and filling our lives with all sorts of problems. And these evil agencies, the human evil agencies, are in complete harmony with the demonic forces of darkness in this world. And they are doing everything they can to destroy mankind from the face of the earth. But I'm telling you people, as we get closer to the end, it's going to get worse and worse. And it's not going to stop until everything is destroyed.
The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word.
As we also know, they are manipulating the weather and such to the point that the weather is getting so bad, it is killing so many people with either the cold, with the heat, or storms of hurricanes and what have you. All those things that are happening.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish.
And so just remember, as this world draws closer to an end, it's going to get worse and worse. And that's why we've got to get grounded in the Bible. We've got to get closer to Christ. We've got to obey Him as much as possible and get more involved with the relationship we need to be building with Christ, because it takes two people to develop a relationship. It's not that Christ gets to do everything in that relationship, but we have to develop that relationship with Him so we can stand in these days as they get more wicked. So until next time, have a blessed week. Peace.
The earth also is defiled unto the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
Staying in Kenya, we're tracking a great split in the country. Drone footage has dramatically revealed massive earth movements that have ripped apart the landscape southwest of Nairobi.
There shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done.
Geologists say Kenya is splitting along the Rift Valley after the massive earth movements. The split in Narok County is as wide as 20 meters in parts and 60 meters at its deepest.
Now, geologists are warning that a huge crack in Kenya's Rift Valley could be showing signs that the continent is splitting. Just look at that. I mean, the power of nature, hey?
And the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly.
Guys, what is going on?
Strange sounds are being heard around the world. In Sweden, this sure sounds like a trumpet. In Michigan, another trumpet-like sound. What is going on out there? Bizarre sounds are being heard all over. The latest is this creepy high-pitched noise. It's like a real-life X-Files. This is where the jarring sound was first reported. As you can tell, it's normally a lovely, quiet neighborhood. But for the past 2 weeks, residents have been on edge because they don't know what the ear-splitting sound is or where it's coming from. Police Captain Mike Herb has received email theories from all over the world,
suggesting this sound to be everything from the movement of tectonic plates to peacocks to the sound of an alien mothership.
This spooky sound terrified a town in British Columbia. This was heard in Finland. And this piercing high-pitched sound was recorded in Michigan. As for the strange sound in Oregon, I asked acoustic engineer Tobin Cooley to analyze it.
Probably electrical, mechanical, gas, air.
But even he can't explain it.
I don't think anyone knows what it is yet, but that's probably what makes it more frightening.
In British Columbia, Canada, Dr. Glenn McPherson says he heard a strange humming sound in his home. At first, he thought it was an appliance.
Ultimately, I cut the power to the entire house, and the sound got louder.
Then he discovered he was not alone.
This is in fact a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm calling it the worldwide hum.
Check out his Hum Map Data project. To date, some 17,000 civilians and scientists from around the world who call themselves hummers have reached out to him, saying they heard the same thing. McPherson thinks the mysterious hum could be caused by low-frequency sound waves. Now listen to these strange booms that sound almost from another planet.
It's one of the rarest things I've ever heard of.
It was another overcast and windy winter day in Draper when a not-so-normal thing happened.
As I was driving, these birds just were falling out of the sky.
Lacey Brown was one of the people who saw things firsthand.
They were all on the ground right around here and along the roadway. They were just falling out of the sky like leaves.
But they weren't leaves. They were hundreds of small birds called starlings.
So what would cause hundreds of birds to fall from the sky? Some people are saying aliens. Others are saying maybe it was lightning or they were poisoned. But in this circumstance, none of those are the case.
No aliens, no cloaking device, no poison. It's just one of those freak things that the birds were just flying along, crashed into the side of a large vehicle, and boom.
Strange sight at some ski resorts in Eastern Europe. This isn't one of those typical optical illusions. It's actually orange snow. People have been sharing photos of the phenomenon on social media, like these shots from Russia.
Was it? Take a look at the mysterious light in the sky. There you see it, followed by a loud boom that rattled some San Jose neighborhoods. The majority of the people that witnessed it live near Branham High School off 85 and Almaden Expressway.
We simply don't know what it is, but most people tell us it was louder than any firework they've ever heard. They say they felt it inside their homes, and one thing is clear tonight, that this has now become the talk of at least several San Jose neighborhoods.
You can see this is coming from way over on this side.
This video posted to a South San Jose Nextdoor page shows a small light travel across the sky for about a minute, then a flash and boom, and it disappears.
Oh yeah, that doesn't do it justice at all.
Dale Johnson says it shook windows and set off car alarms Sunday just before midnight.
New Year's Eve, there's always some mortars or M100s or even M1000s going off around here and at the park. We know what those sound. This was nothing like that.
He's not alone. Next door had more than 120 comments, people saying it sounded like it was right outside their front door.
I thought at first that maybe it was the transformer blew, but we've had that happen before and it wasn't that.
A lot of people heard it. Pretty far away, too.
We asked the FAA if they could identify the flying object. A spokesperson didn't want to guess, but said it did not look like any aircraft operation.
And it created a huge boom, and nobody can figure out exactly what it was just yet.
Yeah, so want to show you this. Our viewer, Trina, and thank you for this, sent this video from Hoquiam. Look at this. So It's just like the whole sky kind of lights up. There are reports of a loud boom and a big flash around 8 o'clock last night in the Grays Harbor County area.
Reports of an explosion or maybe just some sort of loud noise that are waking people up in the middle of the night and nobody can figure out what it is.
And Wheat Ridge police say their own officers have heard it too, and they're now asking for help. Liz Gilardi has this bizarre story.
I've heard them constantly. They've woken me up a few times.
Startling residents out of their sleep, shaking homes, setting off car alarms. But what is it?
To me, it sounds like a very large explosion, like an overhead firework.
No one really seems to know. Jerry DiTullio is the Wheat Ridge treasurer. He's been tracking the booms and says it's not just an isolated incident.
Around 31st and Pierce, 32nd and Ingalls, 38th and Allison, and also down near 46th and Reed.
And he says it's been going on since July.
It's usually one explosion after midnight and then they're done.
The hottest desert in the world isn't the place you'd expect to see snow, but the white stuff has fallen in the Sahara Desert. The sand dunes were lightly dusted in around 40 centimetres of snow as temperatures hit 1 degree Celsius. The rare site melted away by the afternoon. What an extraordinary sight there in the Sahara Desert, guys.
Wow.
Wow, look at those colours.
Very
colour
cool.
contrast.
So it stayed longer than they expected. Stayed around all day.